So, very good evening and welcome back again. We've had our break, our dinner, and an hour of downtime before we start the evening session. This is the last team game that we're going to watch on this table. It's part of the same round robin that we were watching earlier between this one between the Butcher's Arms and Delph Storm. After this one, we're going to have some singles matches. Hopefully find some good ones for you. So for Delph Storm at the table is Martin Caldecott. He's playing the lead-off man for the Butcher's Arms, who's Shane Webster. Shane, as you saw, a little bit unlucky there. He broke off, and it took about three little nudges on the cue ball to finally send it into that middle bag, which gives Martin the free visit and one shot. So I can tell you that results so far within this group, and this group consists of the White Stallions, Delph Storm, X-Men, and Butcher's Arms. So we watched the Butcher's Arms against the X-Men 6 apiece, and Delph Storm beat the White Stallions 9 frames to 3. And then Butcher's Arms. Yeah, Delph Storm beat the White Stallions 9-3, and then Butcher's Arms beat the White Stallions 9-3. So this actually should be a very good matchup. So Delph Storm have played the X-Men on the other table. We're just waiting for that result to go in. It was 6-3 to Delph Storm when we last looked against the X-Men. So it looks like Delph Storm and the Butcher's Arms are at the top of the group. So this, as I say, should be an interesting game. Looks like the two strongest teams in the group. So we shall wait and see. What the match has to offer. So decent chances opening up now for Shane. The problem red being the one that he was just looking at there. The red just to the left of the black. Don't think it passes into the... he's having another look now whether it passes the yellow. into the bottom left pocket. I'd have to say it doesn't, which means he's going to have to try and move it. Well, he's right behind it now. We'll know in a second whether he thinks it goes or not. Even if it doesn't go, what he might be able to do is just if he just drifts it past the yellow to that near knuckle, he can definitely take the bag. Not that that's a massive advantage in black ball rules, of course, but it's either that or he needs to move it. The thing is, I'm not sure the black goes anywhere anyway, so he may have to try and get into it. Maybe he should have tried to screw back another couple of inches and he'd have had an angle to pot this and maybe get into it. I think he's got an angle now. He's having a look now to see whether that red goes into the middle. Maybe. Maybe it does. That looks more plausible. So that looks like the plan. He's going to try and land on it to the middle. If he gets the right angle just above it, then he can also nudge into the black and yellow just to break those apart. All about the angle he leaves here. Can't finish below it, has to finish above it. This looks perfect. Absolutely perfect. Doesn't have to do anything special. Just nudge it open. It's going to open it up to a couple of pockets. Just to give himself that chance. Just like that. Now he's slightly hampered, isn't he? So queuing over the top of the yellow, that's quite nasty. And he's going to have to try and get a little bit of right-hand side on the cue ball, just to drift the cue ball up slightly higher to leave the black. This is a tricky shot now. And that's why he's just gone to top lip. So a big opening frame. Great chance now for Martin Caldecott. He couldn't ask for a better chance. Several ways you can go about these. My preference would be to go yellow to right middle first, and then the yellow just above the right middle, take that one next. But it really depends on the angle on this to bottom corner. If he can hold a similar position. He's gone up table. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. He's got the one above the right middle, and he's always got the saver in the one to bottom left corner if he needs it. So that's fine. Fractionally lower of perfect, but no problem at all. Just drop it in. And they can just stun across for the black in the right middle. Well, that's a bit betwixt and between, isn't it? He didn't really get into that at all, and you could see that the yellow hit the knuckle. Just hit that a bit wrong. Needed to play that with just a bit more conviction. Could have just stunned across another 4 or 5 inches for this black into right centre. And now it's really not simple at all. Yeah, it's just pointing to where he tried to get to. But he's, as I say, he played it just to drift it to the pocket, and I think he should have stunned it. Great camera work there from Pez on the fishing rod. Great black, by the way. That's a great black. Nice shot. And Shane indeed says nice shot. And that's the 1-0. It was more of attrition in the end. Up for Delft Storm. Second in bat is Stephen Sumner. And for the Butcher's Arms, Nick Woolerton. This looks dry. I think the player's just looking for a ref. There's a mark on the red ball. I have noticed a couple of times if you hit a ball hard into the pockets, they can pick up a tiny little black rubber mark, probably from where the tables are new. That's probably exactly what it is, so they're just going to get a ref and ask him to clean the ball. Referee Phil Caunce donning the gloves. The job's done. And Stephen Sumner at the table for Delft Storm. Nothing easy. You take the pot to left corner, and quarter of the bag is already covered. Send the white into the reds and yellows, but not guaranteed any shot after this. And what he's achieved there is opening everything. The only problem on the table now is the black. I think the black will go to top left. So it's just about finding the right potting angle. He's going to take this one to bottom corner now. Needs to avoid the red. Yeah, played it well. Could, if you wanted, play the left yellow to centre bag and kick the black out. As I say, from where the cue ball is now, it will pop to top left. Well, he's played across that one. And a little nudge on the red and black. Let's just open that up to the middle bag as well. Yeah, the only bonus for that shot is the red's covered the path for the yellow into the top left, so just makes things a bit trickier. Oh dear. That's no good. Even worse if it's touching ball. Sorry, if it's not touching ball. If it's touching ball, then it's easy to find a safe spot on the table. Oh, that's a good effort. Good effort, great shot. Has he left the plant? Is it makeable? I think it is. He thinks it is too. Oh, look at his cue ball. Had he got it? Ouch. As he didn't get it, he's quite fortunate there. Dave Byatt, I really don't know the answer to your question, whether the live chat playlist has been on the jukebox. Really annoying because we went out the room, went for dinner and went back to the room just to chill for half an hour, and I bet it came on during the time we were out. But fear not, we'll have another one just in case. Nice cueing for the yellow, and Fairly simple now for Nick Willerton to make this 1 frame each. And 1 each it is. Carl Stevenson up next for Delft Storm, playing Billy Webster. Billy wins the lag. Fancy these dry breaks are becoming a bit of an epidemic. Well, Dave, what can I say? This is Joe Boxer and the Boxer Beat. So this would have been the first track I put on. So unless someone else has put it on, we'll soon know whether the next track is Echo Beach. This could be our playlist, you know. It took 3 hours to go on the jukebox. Either someone else has thought, what a tune, and put it on themselves, or this is our playlist. Still a cracking tune. You did say it'd be around 9 PM. I mean, that was about 3:30 this afternoon we put this on, wasn't it? Maybe a bit later, probably like 5. I'll remember to get in earlier tomorrow. Well, who knows? It might just be another... But as I say, Martha and the Muffins, if they're up next, this is definitely our playlist. For those of you that weren't with us for the afternoon session, we did a jukebox playlist for the chat box, where people in the chat box chose what songs to put on. We put a couple of quid in the jukebox. What a tune. Not our playlist. Dag nabbit. It must have been played while we were out. I've got another one written out here from earlier though, so Still a good tune. It's even got Paul doing the head strut. He's given it some... If you can picture Wayne's World, he's given it the nod. In fact, the whole beer production team's given it. Meantime, Billy Webster at the table on a clearance, tricky little clearance, especially now he's hampered. Yeah, that's exactly right, Dave. Someone stole our tune. It's all good. They're allowed. It's a good shot. I think the first yellow passes the second. If it does, it should be fairly plain sailing. If it doesn't, yeah, well, you can see there. If it doesn't, he's going to have to play a plant, and it's suddenly trickier. Or can he get past the first for the second? Not sure which he's queuing for. I think it's the first. I think it goes. Yeah, easily. I wonder if he's got an angle here to screw back into the red, which is just next to the yellow. If he can screw back into it full ball, well, he has, you see, he's going to leave it for the middle. But he's left it long. I quite like screwing back into that red. If you catch it full ball, even if you catch it 3/4 ball, you're on the right-hand side. You're going to be on the yellow to middle. But I guess unless you have to move a ball, then we try not to, don't we? Try and keep it simple. Oh, he wiped his feet on the way in. But no drama. Nice clearance. Butcher's Arms take a 2-1 lead. Last game of the first rotation of players. And it's going to be Sam for the Butcher's Arms. Oh, listen. Maybe this is our playlist. Echo Beach. And somebody's stuck on a sneaky track. Well, I don't know how they stuck a sneaky track in between. But it's a bit of a coincidence. You got Boxer Beat followed by Martha and the Muffins. Echo Beach. Maybe this is us. The Destroyer. Sam Chambers is up for the Butcher's Arms. For Delph Storm, it's Mark Hutton. What a tune. You can see in the background a sea of tables and players. Every table currently in use. Table numbers above 42 tables in total. Butcher's Arms in the corner cheering on their team. The Delph Storm players just in front of one of the speaker stacks. All I want to know is, if this is our playlist, how did they sneak in ZZ Top in the middle of it? What should be next? Oh, safety dance. Men without hats. I'm not sure the answer to your question, Noel. All I can tell you is that we just get fed the list of players from the organisers of who they want to put on. I know this will be the last of the team events for today. We're going to cover singles matches on the main arena table from here in. So we should see some interesting singles games, races to 5, so that should be fun. We're getting a good few of those before the day's over. Men without hats, safety dance. We can confirm, definitely our playlist. Only took about 4 or 5 hours to come on. It shows how much that jukebox is backed up. I reckon it's going to play all night. That is incredible. Another great tune. Who chose this one? I think this was Gary Clark. And he's not here to hear it. Evening Gurney too, and even better, the tunes aren't just banging out. This is the chat box playlist that we put on about 4:15. Paul's not impressed with your choices. He said there's no Slayer, no Slipknot, no Linkin Park, and no Five Finger Death Punch. Not one of them. They got 4 fingers now, have they? Well, they cut one off. He's not impressed. You missed all the fun, Gurney. I would say we'd do another playlist, but it wouldn't come on until about 5 AM, so we'll save it for tomorrow. Don't worry, Dave. Paul's watching all the messages. Feel free to abuse him. Whoever chose California Dreaming, your tune is up. Dave Berry, that was played earlier on. We played some AC/DC Thunder. Good evening to everyone. Realise people are joining us as the evening draws on. So for those who don't know, We are watching the Golden 8 Ball. We're at the Norbreck Castle in the events arena, which is called the Nork Olympia, at the back of the hotel. And we have been having fun. And it's still only Friday. Next up, this is the second rotation. Starting always in the second rotation, Stephen Webster, Papa Webb for the Butcher's Arms against Martin Caldecott for Delft Storm. Nice break. 2 reds potted. Not the nicest leave. Frankie Valli up next. Oh, what a night. Not much else he could do there, just this has got a few other lads going. Players from 2 opposing sides having a little dance with each other, nice to see. I have to say, all I've seen is good camaraderie, good friendship, and good fun this weekend. I would love to oblige with musical requests, but as I said earlier, we put this playlist on at around about 4:30 this afternoon, so it's taken about 5 hours to come on. So I've got some requests written down for tomorrow, which we'll put on. We're normally here first thing in the morning, one of the first in the room, so we'll get some on early. Three, 1 to the Butcher's Arms. Rocket Man. Dave Byatt, best £2 spent. Well, it would be, wouldn't it? It was my £2. It's always best spent when it's someone else's. It's all right, you can send me a postal order. Do you remember them? Postal orders. You used to have to go to the post office and get a postal order to send to somebody. Unbelievable. Martin's in no man's land here. I know, show me age, Dave. I really am. Yes, Dave, buy it. The Just Giving page. Just chuck a quid in. We'll fill up the jukebox tomorrow. Get about 50 quid's worth of pound coins. I'll go at the bank in the morning and get a load of pound coins and fill the jukebox up. I think this red passes, doesn't it? Passes the yellow just. Certainly does, but he's not got any fizz into that at all. Plenty of power, but the cue ball just, it didn't buzz off that side cushion, just didn't time it properly. And he's played it that badly, he might even have a shot. I think he was trying to get considerably lower. Anywhere at the bottom of the table. I mean, he could have been on the bottom cushion and still been able to drop this red in. He was trying to get much lower. But as I say, he's played it that badly. I think he's given himself a chance at a double. So, Martin Caldecott, this really is a must-win frame. 3-1. That really is a top tune. I think this is the last one of your requests. I stuck on a couple afterwards, but a bit of Steelers Will coming up next, I reckon. So did you know, for those of you music fanatics, Jerry Rafferty of Baker Street fame. Remember Baker Street? Obviously you do, everyone knows Baker Street. Can't believe no one's played that actually. We should have put that on the playlist, shouldn't we? Baker Street. Jerry Rafferty used to be in Steelers Wheel. And previous to that, Jerry Rafferty was in a band called the Humble Bums. And his partner in the Humble Bums was none other than Billy Connolly, the comedian. That's how Billy Connolly started his career, with Jerry Rafferty in the Humble Bums. That's where it all started. Little bit of useless trivia for you. Martin's run out of position here again. He's just got a treacherous little cut to middle bag, or I think the safer option would be to just play that yellow and screw in behind the black. I think that's a better option personally, just soft screw in behind the black. Kearney, you've got good taste in music, my friend. Night Owl, great tune, great album. Steely Dan, not to be mistaken for another of my favourite bands, Steely Dan. Of course, Donald Fagen had an album called, was it Night Owl or something like that? I know that was Jerry Rafferty. He had Night something or other as well. Anyway, I won't bore you with musical facts. This is one of my choices, Stevie Wonder. He's Mr. Know-It-All. What a great tune this is. Tricky this. Just because he needs to get down table. I think just put the cue ball where it was, just up by that right hand corner pocket, and just run the cue ball down. The only thing he's worried about is if it just runs a little too far and runs along the bottom cushion, then he's not going to have any shot, because you don't want to play it with any ridiculous pace. Yeah, he decided to play it with a bit more pace just to make sure that he got down far enough for the yellow. It's not ideal though, is it? Especially if it's just got the wrong angle. If the yellow doesn't pass the top right past the red, then, I don't know, it's just messy. Nightfly, Steve, Nightfly, yes sir. Brilliant album. Love that album, Donald Fagen. Good musical knowledge in this chat box. Yeah, I remember reading something, Gurney, about Jerry Rafferty. I know he had some major problems with alcohol throughout his life. He was plagued with alcoholism, and I think Night Owl, wasn't Night Owl something to do with his depression and his life? I can't remember now. I remember reading something about that. Is that going to drop? Oh, for the world, it looked like it was going to drop in. How has that stayed up? Gravity just holding it on that edge. Ah, dear. Look at that. Played in great order. And win or lose, the players are having fun. Right next time, another great tune. Wiped its feet. That was old Ted Lowe, wasn't it? Wiped its feet. Didn't he used to use that one? All I got to say, guys, is if you have a team, which I'm sure you all do, you're all pool lovers, get them up together and get booked in for November for the Bapto event. You will not be disappointed. Oh, this is another tune I put on, by the way. How good is this? Criticize. Oh, I used to have a Ford Cortina Mark IV and a tape player in it. One of the albums I had in there was In Excess, Listen Like Thieves. Another one was Alexander O'Neill. I used to blare out. Luther Vandross and Alexander O'Neill. I think I put on Luther Vandross next. Bob Seger, Bullet Band. Great tunes. Oh, drilled the cue ball straight in off. That is not what they need. Billy Webster with the ball in his hand. Oh no, this is never too much. You know what we're talking about? Never too much. Criticize is coming on next. Oh, my music taste is ridiculous. Go anywhere from blues to jazz to, I can't even tell you. 70s is probably the strongest here. I love the 70s, everything about it. The disco, the punk, the rock. Just all of the epic bands were in their peak, weren't they? Bands like Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, AC/DC, still carrying on from the 60s. And there were loads of great bands invented in the 70s as well. Loved. I was too young to know music during the 70s. I was born in '69, but discovered it all a lot later. Had a friend of mine who we used to DJ together, and I took a lot of my music influences from him. Passed away a good few years ago now, but yeah, Never Too Much, followed by Criticise. I think Criticise is coming on next, Marcus Mitchell, so I've got your two favourite songs back to back. It's definitely up there as well in, I don't know, my top 20 for sure. There's so many in there, I don't even know where to start. I know, I made a mistake. It's been a long day. We've been in here since 8:15 this morning. We actually got here on Sunday night. The lads started setting up first thing, sorry, we got here on Tuesday night, I meant to say. The lads started setting up on Wednesday morning. All day Wednesday, all day Thursday, setting up the rig to bring you this stream. It was an 8-hour drive up here. Noel, I put on Holidays in the Sun yesterday from the Sex Pistols, put that on the jukebox. Can someone tell the top table to stop talking over the song, please? Not acceptable. Oh, where's the cue ball? That's going to drop. Billy, what have you done? Turn the music back up. What's going on? They've turned the playlist down. You can't talk over this tune. That's a crime against music. Don't criticize my friends. Yeah, I'm telling you now, I'm going to go over and have some strong words with the top table. Talk over when there's a rubbish tune on. They're calling all the singles matches, so don't think anybody could hear. I'd say I'd put it back on again, but it'll play about 3 o'clock in the morning, so. He's landed a bit straight on this one along the top rail. Needed a nice angle. I don't think he can get the cue ball out now. Oh well, we'll have to focus on the pool now. They're talking. Yeah, he couldn't do any more there. Just take the medicine, drop it in. Oh, it's just such a game of fractions, isn't it? If he finishes a few inches lower. Smed's asking the question, and the answer is yes. There definitely is. Is there anywhere online to see today's scores and results? You need to go to www.livepoolscores.com, and that's the Golden 8 Ball's own page that they've developed. So livepoolscores.com. Oh, they just turn the tunes back up just in time to hear the last chords of Criticize. Shame. You can't say that Delft Storm haven't had some chances. They've had their fair share. What's the plan here? Play the yellow off the back of the red to open up the pocket. I like that shot, but needs to play it really well. And where does the red go? I think it's tracking down towards that yellow, you know. Oh, it's okay. He came back through the gap. He doesn't want to cover the black, though. No, he's still got some problems. The yellow to the right doesn't pass to left corner. And how does he... no way of holding it. Oh, okay, yeah, looking again, playing the yellow off the red. Good thinking. Not quite as easy as the last one, though. Well, the last one was tricky. Yeah, that one's always a black. It's okay. He might have had a touch here, you know. He might have had a little touch of luck. Do those reds plant to middle? They're definitely not set, but can he make it? It's a fine little nibble. If not, he should have a fairly simple snooker. You take the red just to the right of the black and just follow the cue ball through. Didn't do either of the above in the end. Oh no. Would not expect him to miss that. Well, I just don't think you can attack from here. Unless you can get to the potting angle to cut the lower red into the middle, which I'm certain that you can't. There's no benefit in potting the one to bottom right. It doesn't really achieve anything. I think he has to tuck up. The problem is with tucking up, it's only ever going to be a one cushion escape. Unless they could play it in such a way that he uses the black to cover. That's not bad, you know. That's not bad at all. Taking away the one cushion escape, maybe even taking away the cross table escape. Maybe have to go 3 times across. But the yellow probably the first yellow probably in the way of the pop, so it's a decent effort. Oh, how'd you go around there? Once you go around the first one, you think he's absolutely nailed on to hit the second one. All right. Chooses to pick the ball up. It's just about a shot to develop now. Develop these 2 balls. Tricky. It's quite tricky to work out the exact path of both of the balls. I just wonder if he hits right in between the 2, whether I think one of the reds is going to track towards the knuckle and the other one will head down towards the bottom left pocket, but he needs to make sure he guarantees himself a shot. I think, for me, glance off the right-hand side from his view, just like a quarter ball glance to come down and make sure you're on the one at the bottom of the table and open up these two reds. Just play it at a pace where you're not going to leave one of them on the rail. But definitely not easy when the balls are tied together like this. And he's having to give it a lot of thought. Interesting. Really? I mean, it's worked out for him, but I can't believe you can get more control screwing back off of a yellow than you can going into the balls directly. As I say, it's worked for him, well, of a fashion. Now he's got himself into a bit of trouble here. He's a bit close to the cushion. The one to the middle, he's going to have to dig, well, either one he's going to have to dig down on it. Tiny bit careless leaving himself so close to the rail. He's really going to have to dig this one. That's okay. So Delft Storm finally come through that frame. As I say, this whole match has been a bit of a war of attrition. So frame number 7, Carl Stevenson against Sam Chambers. Carl Stevenson for Delft Storm. Sam Chambers for the Butcher's Arms. Bit of the old head in the sand syndrome, as I call it. One problem ball and just bury your head in the sand and pretend it's not there and leave it right till the end, and unsurprisingly find yourself in a bit of trouble. How the heck has he come up with that one? What a shot. Oh no. After getting that double, I bet you can't believe how that's come out. We've all done that as well, haven't we? Played an amazing shot and then thought, oh, I should be clearing these. Seen the finishing line. Oof. Smile on his face, flirting with that middle bag. All about this shot now. Frame ball coming up. Generous pockets, as you see. Generous, when I say generous, generous at the right pace. Nice clearance. All there, but again, still got to get them. Well done to Sam. Five frames to 2 in favour of the Butcher's Arms. Mark Hutton for Delft Storm, Nick Woolerton, Butcher's Arms. Livepoolscores.com if you want to see the scores, the draw, the results, how it's all going to play out over the weekend. Livepoolscores.com, which is the Golden 8 Ball Zone page that they've developed. Pretty good it is too. Decent little search engine. If Delft Storm want to create a storm in this game, then this is a must-make clearance. That's okay, that's good. So to get them back within 5-3, within 2 frames. Oh my, oh my. You just can't be missing those. You can't be missing those. You speak for yourself, Andrew. This chat box is made up of beautiful people. Including these lovelies we have in Blackpool this weekend. You're absolutely right, Mark. It's not the first time, and it certainly won't be the last. It's always difficult. There's a different pressure in this one frame pool, isn't there? Just a different. When you're playing for your team, playing for your teammates, not just playing for yourself, you know that it's a key frame, you know that it's a must-make ball. Never easy. It's we watch so many great pool players nowadays throughout the different events that are shown around the country. The shootout, the Supreme Series, the Murphy's Series, Town. We just get used to seeing the robotics, the bliss that it is to watch players like Tom Cousins and Liam Dunster and Sheppy and all those great players, Phil Harrisons, etc. And we just take it for granted that everyone's going to play the same way. And then we're surprised when somebody plays a bit like us. You think, oh, there's people out there, club players who play just like us. Just like all the other club players. Shouldn't really come as a surprise, should it? I see so many people criticise people when they play money matches, when they play poor shots or whatever, and then they go around the club and do exactly the same thing themselves. completes the clearance, and it's Butcher's Arms who march on. These two teams seem they've probably been evenly matched throughout the tournament, similar results in all of their games, and then suddenly the Butcher's Arms doing what they do when it matters. Jed Webb, Shane Webster. Another dry break. We should have done some stats today. There have been a lot of dry breaks on this table. And this is Martin Caldecott for Delft Storm. Don't forget that every frame counts. So they could still get a draw out of this game. But each frame that they win is a point. You get an extra single point for a draw, and you get 2 points for a win. So if you win 7-5, you get 9 points, and the losing team gets 5. Yeah, the one thing, Dave, I mean, I absolutely know what you mean. I mean, most of us play one frame pool, don't we? You know, the Wednesday night leagues and the Thursday night leagues and so on and so forth. Most of it is short races or one frame pool. And the one thing that the one thing you certainly do learn from watching the top players is about pattern play. And just about how to go about a clearance, and also, you know, just about making sure you get your bad balls out early, And you can also learn things about, you know, watching players in their stance, their cue actions, things like this. We can make adjustments by watching players. Not many break dishes, you're right, Mark. But really, I think that's quite endemic of one frame pool. I mean, certainly this table's been breaking quite dry today. We watched Money Match last night. There's quite a few breaking dishes in that, but isn't it the same? It's really hard just to break and dish them up when it's one frame pool. In these type of events, you just don't see loads and loads. I think everyone, I mean, I got to the stage now where, you know I don't practice enough, anywhere near enough to be as good as I want to be. And it's easy to turn up and play one frame pool and lose a couple of frames on the night and start kicking yourself that you've missed a particular shot. And then I remember that I've not picked up a cue for 6 weeks. And then you expect to go straight on a table and break dish, and it just doesn't happen. So where does this group standing? Well, I would tell you, but my page won't load. Oh, here we go. I've got to reset everything. Who do we want to know? We want to know Butcher's Arms, Group 24. So Group 24. Butcher's Arms, played 2. Yeah, I think there's still a result outstanding from this, I think. Delph Storm 9-3 against White Stallions. Butcher's Arms 6-all with X-Men. Butcher's Arms 9-3 against White Stallions. X-Men then played Delph Storm, but that result never went in. And I think that's because they've left the result sheet next to me, so I don't think they've ever handed that in. So unsurprisingly, the scores have not been updated. But White Stallions are playing X-Men over on table 2 at the moment. And let's have a look at Mr. and Mrs. So Mr. and Mrs. are Gareth Hibbett, Viv, and Sally Marola and her partner, and they are playing in Group 18. And they drew their first match against Valley Oddballs. And then they drew their second game against the Bears. And then they lost their third game against the 8 Ball Bags. So they've drawn 2 and lost 1. So Gareth Hibbett's team not doing quite so good there. In fact, they came, that group is finished now. They came 3rd in their group. So I'm not sure what happens there. I don't think they proceed, do they? Unless there's some kind of losers section, I'm not really sure. Thanks for the kind words, Matt Clark. Very much appreciated from a really good referee. Dave Byer, absolutely true. Absolutely true. Anyone can beat anyone over one frame. And do you remember the old one frame pub knockout they had? Anyway, Shane with his simple black to go 7, and that's the 2 extra points, the 2 bonus points. They will play on to 12 frames. Every frame counts. Yeah, it was something like it was the 50k pub pool challenge, wasn't it? It was a load of players. I don't know what it was, £5 to enter or something like that, and it all started in the pubs, and you paid in a £5, and you played 1 frame of pool, and if you won, you progressed, and if you lost, you didn't. You were out. And I think you could have more than one guy. I'm not sure. I can't really remember. It's a good number of years ago. It used to be the biggest prize ever awarded in pool, £50,000, and an unknown player by the name of Frankie Sargent won. And if you Google it, if you Google the 50k pub pool challenge, Mike Day at the Q View has written an article on it. And if you look at the Czech presentation, on one side you'll see a picture of a young Michaela Tab, and on the other side you'll see a picture of a young Mel Harley. And Mel's actually here at the event. I mean, that's got to be a good 20 years ago, I would think. 99% sure that's Mel anyway. And I know that Oli Bale got really far in that. I think he played in the, I think they televised the, they're like from the last 8 down or something. And yeah, Frankie Sargent won £50,000, was never heard of again. But it does show that anyone can win that 1 frame pool. There's a really good article actually. The winners of the biggest payday in English 8-ball. Well, that was true until last year when, of course, the Supreme Series made it £51,000, and that was the significance of 51 grand, is that they wanted to. Oh goodness me, Papa Webb, what have you done with the cue ball there? That's a really poor error. Yeah, that was a great story. I wonder what year that was. It must be in the article somewhere. So the venue had to pay about 70 quid. And if the player from their venue reached the TV stage, then the establishment will be advertised on the back of the player's shirt live on TV. Players paid a £5 to enter. And it was indeed Mel Harley and Michaela Tab, and there was a cage where the players played their final frame. The final stages had Oli Bell, Scott Ross and Nigel Clark. What year was that? This is on a postcard. Dave Byatt could be Mr. and Mrs. Yeah, I know that Viv and Gaz, they're just here for a great weekend. They won't be taking the team event too seriously. I mean, they both absolutely love their cue sports. Gaz played a couple of sets late on Thursday night against Keir Monaghan on that TV table. And afterwards, a couple of young lads just came over and asked Gaz if they could play him at a frame of pool. Obviously, great chance to play a world champion. an ex-world champion, and he just obliged, just gets up and gives him a knock around on the table. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant to have people like him involved in events such as this. I know he said as soon as they arrived in the hotel, he walked into the lift with his suitcase and straight away someone asked for a photo with him. Never quite get used to that. Smashing, absolutely lovely people. So unassuming. And a really good commentator to boot. Making this scoreline more respectable now. Stephen Sumner for Delft Storm, taking advantage of that foul from Papa Webb. Yeah, Mark Wiley, I didn't actually have a 6-hour drive today because we came up on Tuesday and it was an 8-hour drive. Absolutely horrendous, backbreaking. 3 of us in a transit van coming up the M6 with a little shortcut through Stoke-on-Trent, and then we went out the back of Stoke-on-Trent and ended up going cross-country. Horrendous journey. We had to pick up something in Stoke-on-Trent, and I think we must have, the sat-nav routed us cross-country. Oh, it was just shocking. It took us about an hour and a half to get back onto the M6. I hate sat-navs. (2006). There you go, 2006. I reckon that sounds about right, yeah, 13 years ago. The article, well, the link says 2006. I mean, it's not. I must admit that Mikey Day, he knows his stuff. If you haven't ever had a look, Mike Day runs a online magazine called The Q View, and what Mike Day doesn't know about Q Sports isn't worth knowing. He is so into snooker and pool. It's incredible. He loves the games, and he writes a lot of great articles. In fact, I know Mike would enjoy this weekend, but he's getting more and more heavily involved in snooker. But if you've never done before, then please do go and have a look at the Q View. He's a good friend of Beard Productions is Mike, and another really good commentator. Very, very well informed. So here we go. With frame number 11, Carl Stevenson gets things underway. I think he's going to be forced into playing reds here. The 2 reds towards the right-hand bag, covering yellows into that pocket, so looks like he's got the perfect angle. There you go, he's just showing you where the line he wants to be with his cue. He could screw straight back into the gap between those that triangle of yellows. But I think he's going to just play off the side cushion. I think he's overrun it. Not a massive margin of error, but enough. He's going to have another chance. I think he had a little more control and just grazed the red on the way past. I think that red would have gone, but he had to play it towards the left-hand side of the bag. So this is the penultimate frame, frame 11. I've seen Dan Davey over the weekend as well, so I guess there must be a team from down kind of, I think he's Newbury way, isn't he? Around that area. I don't think he's exactly Newbury, but I know he's from that neck of the woods. I think he heard that he plays in and around the Crucible in Newbury. Saw Ian Martin at breakfast this morning across from JJ Falls Club, Savannah's. So there's great teams from all over the country converging on the seaside resort. One yellow gone to cover the other. Maybe the top one just squeezes past. It does. Bit close to his work, but he's straight, or just off straight. Oh, it did look like he was just playing across the ball there. That one wiped its feet. He used the whole of the pocket before it dropped in. So last frame. Billy Webster will tee off the last frame for the Butchers. Oh, we got another one of these. Top one, yeah. Mark Hutton for Delft Storm, and this is just all about the single point now. Butcher's Arms have already taken the win and the bonus 2. I think, pretty sure that Delft Storm won their second game. Because I got their scorecard in front of me, but it wasn't fully filled out. But they were 6-3 ahead, so I reckon this is going to finish Butcher's Arms top of the group. And then it's between Delph, Storm and X-Men. So this could still be quite an important point. Really depends how the match on the other table has gone on, and it's still in progress, I think, so. So Mark Hutton won the lag. He broke. Yeah, I like the format, Mark. Every frame counts. It just means you don't get any dead rubbers. You know, I've been to events before which, you know, where it's all like a bit sort of bish bash bosh. It's, you know, if it's a round robin, then as soon as you get the 7 frames, it ends and away you go. It's nice that everyone gets the longer matches. You're guaranteed your 12 frames. And it makes you scrap for every single point. Side cushion. Players having a bit of fun. Clearly know each other. Billy giving Mark a bit of heckling. Finish it off then, Mark. Oh. See young Billy shows class. Good young player. One for the future. Needs to make sure he leaves an angle on the ball on the bottom rail. This looks nice. Just use the black as his target point, or just inside the black through the gap. Big margin of error there, so. And for another impressive win from the Butcher's Arms, Billy Webster with this black ball, and they will finish top of the group. There's another one that went to top knuckle. Just thought for a second, I've known tables that wouldn't take that, and the players shake hands, and the Butcher's Arms go on it. As I say, they win the group. We are going to be featuring singles matches on the stream table from here in. I cannot imagine it's going to be very long before they're loading us up with the next match. So we're going to take the stream down and set things up for the next game, get the names in, etc., etc. As soon as we know who it is, I can't imagine it's going to be more than 10 minutes. But if you subscribe to the page, then you will get a notification. Speak to you very shortly. See you soon.